she could feel that the cervix was closing around it, and that she thinks some of it was still stuck to the wall. And I mean, I'm shaking and freezing, and I'm being yanked from side to side while they're trying to get this out.
It felt like, you know, something bad has happened. And
Hi and welcome back to my channel, and if it's your first time here, welcome. My name's Simone. Today I'm going to do a video talking about my retained placenta that I had with my baby, who I had almost 9 months ago. So I've included Ryan, this is my husband, in the video because he will probably be able to give you a bit of an insight of what happened from like his perspective. So if you didn't know, I had a water birth in the hospital. My first birth was an emergency C-section, second a home birth, and then we had a water birth in the hospital, and it went really well. But I'll put a card above for that and maybe a clip. The birth was nice, wasn't it, apart from them not respecting our wishes in some respect.
if you look back now, I can't believe it's gone so quickly. Yeah, so 9 months, but we wanted a home birth because we've experienced it before. Simone had a birth plan.
Just gonna get the baby.
Simone had a birth plan in place, and it was all good, but we were prepared for, you know, you can't really prepare and have your mind fixed on how you want it, because it could always be just so unpredictable. It was all calm, relaxed. We had to go into the hospital, and what happened was we kept on praying that for a natural birth, which that's what we wanted. And after quite a few hours, she ended
21 hours, I think.
Yeah, she ended up being in the water and
the birth pool.
Yeah, that in itself took so much energy, because leading up to that, we were, you know, it was relentless. The 1 minute you're resting and you've burned out, and the next minute you've got some sense of energy. And I was only reacting of what Simone was going through. But she was brilliant. She was really strong and focused and determined. But then when it came to
after we'd had the baby, I was in the pool, wasn't I, for an hour, because we'd said that we wanted the placenta to come out natural, like with the home birth, and the midwife let us just chill out in the pool, and we waited for the cord to stop pulsating, and then Ryan cut the cord, which you'd see in the birth video.
Yeah,
so sat there for about an hour, wasn't we? And we didn't, to be honest, we didn't even really think about the placenta.
It just felt it was normal. It just felt like that's okay. We're waiting and we're waiting, like, and we're waiting.
The midwife didn't say, "Oh, you know, have you got any sensations for the placenta to come?" Nothing. She just left us. After I got out, she gave me a robe, and then the baby went to Ryan, and then I got on the bed, fed Mike a little bit more, and then I think the contractions started again then, which I'd not experienced with the home birth. After about 15 minutes, the placenta came out. The placenta came out, no problem with my second birth. I was on the bed, and I remember it starting to feel progressively, it was getting more painful. And I remember the midwife getting me up and telling me to walk around and get on the birthing stool to try to get it out. But I think because I've been in labour for like 21 hours and I'd not had any pain relief or anything, I was really tired, starting to get tired.
Yeah,
you know, you've had the baby and you want to just chill out.
I think after Micah was born, and I think it was 40 minutes or so, Simone, from what I can remember, even maybe longer.
It was an hour I was in the pool.
No, after, when you were on the bed and we had
it was more than 2 hours in total after having him.
It's a blur right now, so.
It got worse, and I started to feel like an urgency. I need to get this out, because I was starting to really get in agony. And when they was putting the baby on me, because I got back in the bed, I said, Ryan, every time I was getting the contraction, taking, because I was really not managing the pain. And then she examined me. She cut the cord further because it was really long and it was dangling. She tried to pull on it, and then I was just like, please just do whatever it takes, just get it out. So I remember lying down and going up in there, and I think she said that she could feel that the cervix was closing around it, and that she thinks some of it was still stuck to the wall. So I got on the bed. More doctors and people was coming in by this stage.
Yeah, but which was at that point, you know, that's not what you wanted. But when it gets to that point, then everything is just all up in the air, because it kind of like reminded me of when Caleb was born, with all the people in and out, and you know, it just
like an emergency situation.
Yeah,
you kind of lose control because you don't know what's going on. I was on the bed, then some doctors came in, and then they wanted to give me a drip,
right?
You know, like Syntocin or something to bring on the contractions more. But I said I can't deal with that. It was so painful. So they pressed on my stomach, and I was screaming like it really hurt, and I was shouting for my midwife to come back in. The babies, and then they was like, right, okay, we might have to go to theatre to manually remove it. And by this stage, I was just glad the baby was here safe and everything, and I was just like, right, take me in there. And then you was like, why? And then I was talking to you, and I saying, look, it's not coming out, that's what we're gonna have to go and get it taken out. So they tried putting the cannula in my hand, and they had trouble with Caleb, didn't they? And I was like, look, I don't know if it's my veins or what, but it was really painful. So I'm having these contractions, I'm screaming like, it's hurting. I mean, it might be different to you, but I felt like I was totally losing control. Every time a contraction came, it felt like I was weeing myself. I was like, is blood coming out? Because I could just feel wetness, but they said there wasn't anything. So then they finally managed to get a cannula in my arm, and then they took me through, and you signed everything, and then you took me through, and you were so worried, weren't you? You didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
I remember them giving me the epidural, and I was having to sit there on the edge of the bed while I'm having a contraction, and they're like, look, you need to sit still. And I just was like, I just couldn't. It was super painful. As soon as they gave me the epidural and I got some relief from it, I just felt like so much better. But then I started, you know, teeth started chattering and I'm shaking and freezing, and I'm being yanked from side to side while they're trying to get this out. And then afterwards my blood pressure dropped, so I was in recovery for a while, and they told me that I'd lost 900 mils of blood. That was not in the birth, but when they pulled the placenta out.
Madness, this situation.
Oh yeah, because
could easily spiral out of control and you end up dying.
It said that it's very dangerous to have a returned placenta, but most of the time it's rare. It's only like 2 to 4% chance of getting it. And I'd not even looked into it. I'd researched everything else, and I didn't even know what a returned placenta was. And I've been trying to find videos, and there's not really a lot on them. And because I've got unanswered questions, you know, like when I was giving birth to my second baby, I remember the midwife 15 minutes after giving birth was saying, do you not have the urge to get the placenta out, have a walk around? And it came just normally, no pain or anything. But there, looks nice. Wow.
What the hell is that?
We're just looking at someone outside with a nice dessert. So
Did you see that?
And it came out with no pain. I didn't know that it could be painful for the placenta to come out. It felt worse than labour. So when I was in there, what were you thinking? Because when I came back, got wheeled back in the room, he looked like someone had died. His face, he was with the baby, and to me,
no, it wasn't a nice feeling because I didn't know what was going on. They weren't telling me, okay, she's out now, or she's alright, or she's not alright, but it was just a weird feeling.
You said you were worried that I was gonna die.
Yeah, it felt like, you know, something bad has happened, and I'm like, whoa, you know, a lot of things are going through your mind at that time. And I was sitting there with Micah, and I'm thinking, bloody hell, if something did happen, how am I gonna be going home and explaining to our children, you know, your mom's not here now? You know, that's the type of things that was going through my mind. Like I said, they were just doing their job, obviously, and very, I don't know.
We're thankful that the placenta came out.
Yeah,
But we'd like to know, like, how, what, why, like, could it be prevented? Because like I said, with a retained placenta, there's a chance that you can end up with an hysterectomy, like severe blood loss. There's a chance of having like scarring on your womb, so you can get endometriosis, or I think that's how you pronounce it. So, I mean, obviously you can't plan for things. We're not planning to have any other kids, but to think that I've had the emergency C-section and then ended up with that retained placenta, it worries you going forward. You know, if there was any other issues. But after that, we got wheeled to another room to just relax, and this was like about 4 o'clock in the morning. And the recovery though from the labour and that was way better than my first birth or my second birth, which I was really surprised about after going through that. But it was just, we've never really sat down and talked about it, have we, about how we felt. We've just been so grateful that Mike has been here, that we've kind of just pushed that to the side. But it was really, really traumatic, and I just think that, I suppose it's just a small risk, but they always go on, don't they, about if you've had a C-section that there's a chance that your scar could rupture, but that's a small chance. But they should talk about the retained placenta as well, shouldn't they, maybe?
No, definitely. I would say for anyone, when you have the time and you are about, if your partner's pregnant, or if you I would say look into these things, do some research on what if, be prepared, really prepare, do the research of what could happen and why it's happening. Sometimes it can help with signs. You can pick up signs earlier.
And it's not about like being fearful or concentrating on what the bad things that can happen. It can just help to prepare you. If, say, like with the C-section, we never prepared for that in the first birth, but with the second time we planned for the natural birth, but we felt more equipped going forward that if we did have to have a C-section, we did loads of research on it and how things could have been different from the first one. So it's really good to be knowledgeable on what can help in labour, what could potentially go wrong. But just having all the facts and speaking to your healthcare providers about everything, it can just make a massive difference before getting pregnant or being pregnant before you're giving birth, I suppose.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, we're just so happy that, listen to this guy. He's so strong and he's about to walk. If you listen really carefully, you can actually hear him grow. It's crazy how fast time goes, but we're just happy and thankful that
we're thankful. So we're not obviously taking away from the seriousness of the situation. No. It was a serious situation, but we're just really grateful that he's here, and that with the first birth, with the emergency C-section, it knocked me, and Ryan really had to help me to breastfeed, and breastfeed as in feed, but really support me. And with having Micah, you supported me after, and it was easier to not be so traumatized by it. But I have watched one video of a woman having to go through it, and I think it really impacted her, and she was really upset about it. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to make a video. Well, I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.